Azar Chapter 19, Connectives that express cause and effect, contrast and condition. Here are some connectives that express cause and effect, contrast and condition. Using because of and due to, transition to show cause and effect, therefore and consequently. Other ways of expressing cause and effect can be such that and so that. Expressing purpose using so that. Showing contrast with unexpected result. Showing direct contrast and expressing conditions using otherwise and or else. We will start with this chart that shows connectives that express cause and effect, contrast and condition. As you can see, they were classified in adverb clause words, transitions, conjunctions, and prepositions. The term connective includes expressions that serve to connect independent clauses to other coordinate or subordinate structures. This broad term includes words and phrases that are variously called adverbial transitions, subordinating conjunctions, subordinators, coordinating conjunctions, conjunctive adverbs, logical connectors, and conjuncts of various types. Let's see some examples, using because of and due to. Because the weather was cold, we stayed home. Because introduces an adverb clause, it is followed by a subject and verb. Because of the cold weather, we stayed home. Due to the cold weather, we stayed home. Because of and due to are phrasal prepositions. They are followed by a noun object. Due to the fact that the weather was cold, we stayed home. Sometimes, usually in more formal writing, due to is followed by a noun clause introduced by the fact that. Using because of and due to. We stayed home because of the cold weather. We stayed home due to the cold weather. We stayed home due to the fact that the weather was cold. Like adverb clauses, these phrases can also follow the main clause. Using transitions to show cause and effect. Therefore and consequently. I want you to pay attention to punctuation in this case. L failed the test because he didn't study. L didn't study, therefore, comma, he failed the test. L didn't study, consequently, comma, he failed the test. L didn't study, therefore, he failed the test. L didn't study, he therefore failed the test. L didn't study, he failed the test, therefore. L didn't study, so he failed the test. Here you have a summary of the punctuation that you had the examples in the previous slide. Make sure you go over it. Other ways of expressing cause and effect, such that, so that. Because the weather was nice, we went to the zoo. It was such nice weather that we went to the zoo. The weather was so nice that we went to the zoo. It was such good coffee that I had another cup. It was such a foggy day that we couldn't see the road. The coffee is so hot that I can't drink it. I'm so hungry that I could eat a horse. She speaks so fast that I can't understand her. He walked so quickly that I couldn't keep up with him. Other ways of expressing cause and effect, such that and so that. She made so many mistakes that she failed the exam. He has so few friends that he is always lonely. She has so much money that she can buy whatever she wants. He had so little trouble with the test that he left 20 minutes early. It was such a good book that I couldn't put it down. I was so hungry I didn't wait for dinner to eat. Expressing purpose using so that. I turned off the TV in order to enable my roommate to study in peace and quiet. I turned off the TV so that my roommate could study in peace and quiet. So that plus can or could. I'm going to cash a check so that I can buy my textbooks. I cashed a check so that I could buy my textbooks. So that plus will or simple present or would. I'll take my umbrella so that I don't get wet. I'll take my umbrella so that I won't get wet. I'll take my umbrella so that I don't get wet. Yesterday I took my umbrella so that I wouldn't get wet. Showing contrast. Having unexpected results. Adverb clauses, even though, although, though. Even though it was cold, I went swimming. Although it was cold, I went swimming. Though it was cold, I went swimming. Transitions. Nevertheless, nonetheless, however, still. It was cold, nevertheless, I went swimming. It was cold, nonetheless, I went swimming. It was cold, however, I went swimming. Let's see now showing contrast using conjunctions. But, anyway, but, still, yet, still. It was cold, but I went swimming anyway. It was cold, but I still went swimming. It was cold, yet I still went swimming. With prepositions, despite, in spite of, despite the fact that, in spite of the face that. I went swimming despite the cold weather. I went swimming in spite of the cold weather. Showing direct contrast. Adverb clauses. While, whereas. Mary's rich while John is poor. Mary's rich whereas John is poor. Whereas Mary's rich, John is poor. Conjunction but. John is poor but Mary is rich. Using transitions. However, on the other hand. Mary is rich, however, John is poor. John is poor, Mary is rich, however. Mary is rich, John, on the other hand, is poor. Expressing conditions using otherwise and or else. If I don't eat breakfast, I get hungry. You'll be late if you don't hurry. You get wet unless you take your umbrella. Transition. I always eat breakfast, otherwise I get hungry during class. You'd better hurry, otherwise you'll be late. Take your umbrella, otherwise you'll get wet. Conjunction. I always eat breakfast, or else I get hungry during class. You'd better hurry, or you'll be late. Take your umbrella, or else you'll get wet. And that's the end of chapter 19. One more time, you have this wonderful chart with all the connectives for cause and effect, contrast, and condition. Make sure you ask me questions if you have in class.